and thanks for watching this series on Touche, the Indian ringneck. Now he's one of the project birds that I've worked with among many others. This is also Rusty, another project bird, and it's thanks to my patrons over at patreon.com/BirdTricks that I'm able to do this at no cost to either the rescues or the previous owners of these project birds. So if you like content like this, please consider supporting me over on patreon.com/BirdTricks.
Hey little buddy. Do you want to film a video today? You're so mellow. You want to film a little something? Look like you just want to chill out. Oh my gosh, freaking cute. Freaking cute. Hey guys, so I wanted to give you kind of a proper update on this little pear-shaped cutie patootie. I took him on that initial road trip, which you guys saw, which did not go well. Again, it was kind of one of those things where I talked about embrace your pace, and it was too fast for Touche. So while Lefty did great about it, and it gave Dave and I time to bond and form a relationship with Lefty, since we hadn't really been able to do that to a full extent because of Capri kind of hogging him, that was really awesome. With Touche, it didn't work the same way, which has been a constant pattern that I've seen where, since it works for Lefty, I try it with Touche and it doesn't go as planned. The second road trip that I took these guys on, I ended up leaving Touche alone. So he, like, and by that I mean he was with Lefty in a travel cage within the trailer, and I went back and forth between having both of them in the same cage, separating them, etc. Just because in the travel carriers that I have, there's only one food and one water dish. So there's only 2 dishes. And these guys, if they're going to argue, it's going to be over food. So I like to just make sure that everybody's getting enough and not picking on one another. And so I did every so often separate them, and then I would put them back together again. Now, what I did find helped with Touche is just simply targeting him around the travel cage. So I would open the door, ask him to come out on top, ask him to go around it, ask him to go back in, and I would do it various times. Now, a lot of times when people do the target training, a place where you can mess up with it is by asking the bird to go back in and slam in the cage and being like, haha, gotcha, tricked you in there. Make sure that if you're asking your bird to go in, you're also asking your bird to come out, and do it multiple times without shutting the door, or shut the door, target your bird, you know, like target your bird a couple times, open the door, do it again, so that nothing is kind of like set in stone. You don't want to ever trick your bird, because they'll catch on to that and it'll become a negative thing instead of a positive thing, even if there's a treat involved. So just kind of make sure of that, and he responded really, really well to that. In fact, I had somebody open the door to the trailer. They literally broke it because it can lock from the inside, and it wasn't a super strong lock. It was just enough that if we had a bird out inside, that somebody couldn't like come in. Well, a friend of ours thought it was jammed and like smashed open our door, and luckily I was able to calmly target him inside before it became like a fiasco. But it was really one of those like scary close calls. However, he's been so calm and cool and collected, which is so different for an Indian ringneck, that it's been really nice. Like, as you can see, even right now, even though he did like one alarm call, he's super calm even as I'm talking. And like normally my talking and certain tones that I make set him off, especially if I mimic him. he can get really heightened really easily. And all day today we actually filmed a Tasty Tuesday earlier, and he did not get overly heightened, even though I made the mistake of saying some of the things that he says that I think are so cute. And I didn't see any of the eye pinning and anything like that. So it's been really cool. He's overall in my care calmed way down, and I think it's because he's getting used to such a chaotic lifestyle. So that was the second road trip. The second road trip, I never brought him into the hotel room. I never did anything like that. I just left him in the travel carriers, which are, those of you that have seen our travel trailer, it's like we have, I almost want to call them like breeder cages or multi-purpose cages, but it's 3 stacked on top of each other. So I rotated which one he was in and everything, and then just worked with him in and out of those cages, but never brought him out of that. And that worked really well on the trip. I think he just has a smaller comfort zone than Lefty, and so coming out of it, he gets easily overstimulated and then resorts to biting or just freaking out, whether that's being so scared that he bites or whatever. So this was much more at his pace. And then, was there a third road trip that I took you on, buddy? Third road trip? I canceled the third road trip. I ended up staying home with all the birds. And that was just a personal, I got stressed out thinking about caring for all of them in a trailer. I canceled that one, but we're going on another one. And this time I hope that it can be a happy medium of being able to keep him mostly in the trailer, in those travel cages. Although, actually, we're not bringing the trailer, so scratch that. He's just gonna be in like one of those little carriers. So I'm hoping that this time he can come out and be in the car with us, and possibly come out into the hotel room and be a little bit calmer and work that way. Yeah, somebody came out. So I'm hoping that we see more of an in-between sort of working sort of thing. And this will be the last road trip that I take him on before he returns to the rescue, where I've been told that there's quite a few applications for him, so that's really, really cool. People are wanting to take him on and can see him fitting into their home, which is really exciting. So we're gonna shoot for that, and I'm very excited for his future, and I hope that all the desensitization and just getting him to be more calm in general transfers outside of here, which is why it's so important to take him on these road trips and see how it transfers in other environments. So some of the things that you guys have asked about, one is he super aggressive if I put him in a cage? And what I found just through those road trips was the first one I tried to incorporate him into everything, and he actually got really aggressive because of the overstimulation, getting easily scared, etc., etc. So I almost found that having him out in those other environments made for more aggression than the second time of leaving him in and working around his comfort zone. So that's kind of what I found. However, I know that most of you are talking about putting him into, say, like one of my aviaries. Now, when I worked with him on my porch aviary, it didn't make him more aggressive, but it did make him less social. So he became more content to stay outside with Lefty. Now, if Lefty was not in that cage, he was way less content. I think that he's just the type of bird that really wants companionship, whether that's being close to a human or another bird. So he is quite uncomfortable by himself. So as you can see right now, he's great even without Lefty, but I'm here. So, and anytime somebody else enters, he's definitely alerting me. He's not freaking out about it, but it's something that he notices for sure. So as far as like putting him and leaving him in an aviary or a cage, I have tried it, and I've tried to experiment and see what happens. There's a few different things that happen. If early on, it was definitely more aggressive. Now, it's not aggressive. And I think the game changer for this is that I can walk into the aviary. So my aviaries are so large that I can actually walk into them versus having a cage that's small enough where only your arm fits in. And so your arm or your hand kind of acts like the intruder to their space. I think that the walk-in aviary thing is a game changer for a lot of people for a lot of reasons, this being the main reason. what I've noticed is anytime he does appear aggressive in the aviaries, I can simply pull out a target stick and he's immediately redirected. I can ask him to spin, he's immediately redirected. And it just brings like a moment of calm, and we work through it really easily within about 2 minutes or less. If I try to work through it without a treat or the target stick and I just try to like talk to him, it doesn't really work because talking kind of gets heightened. So it's really the redirecting of attention that works well for him. The only time I have an issue getting him is when him and Lefty are left together in the aviary for an extended amount of time. So extended amount of time to me is days. So if it goes, you know, 3, 4, 5 days and they're in the aviary and I haven't done any training with them at all, and I go to try to get one of them, they both get all gang and bully up, and they're just like, don't hang out with us. And he especially will go and protect Lefty. So if I go to try to get Lefty first, he will fly over to Lefty and he'll get all mad and he'll start talking like he does when he gets really angry. Lefty will start quaking and they both like don't want to be touched. It's like they both gang up. But if I do the same thing and for an extended amount of time, they're both in an aviary but separate aviaries, they're fine. So I can just go in and get Lefty anytime if he's in his own aviary. And this doesn't matter if it's before or after meals. Anytime Lefty steps up, great. He's really, really sweet. But if he's paired with this guy for an extended amount of time and this guy goes and kind of tells him that there's a problem and starts defending him, then Lefty will actually like not want to come and avoid coming at all costs. Now, if you can just hold up a sunflower seed and get Lefty by himself, he will step up, but this guy makes it pretty hard. So the ganging up is something that definitely leads me to believe that they shouldn't be housed together in this situation. Now, that being said, I have 2 Camelot Macaws that are brothers, and sometimes they do this to strangers. So if I have somebody caretaking, they will do this to the stranger. They will gang up. They will seem like really mean and aggressive. Don't attack my... I'm gonna move Touche just a little bit so you can't reach my camera. They'll act really like a gang and aggressive to the new person, and they'll lunge and they'll get all like big and puffy. They don't do it to me when they're housed together, so I don't have a problem housing them together. But if I did notice something like that directed towards me, I probably wouldn't house them together as often. I do try to house all my birds separately just to give them their own space and their own time away. But this is just kind of something to consider. You know, if you are housing birds together and it's having a negative impact, don't do it. If you're housing birds together and it's not a problem for them or you, don't, like, not broken, don't fix it. Sort of thing. I really believe that housing birds together or separately is based on like a case-by-case basis. Usually though, I will say 98% of the time, most birds should be housed separately. So yeah, so that's a thing for these guys. I'm gonna go ahead and move this since he's not in the picture anymore. But that's the thing for these guys, is I prefer that Lefty and Touche are housed separately. So when they go into a cage or an aviary, I usually want them separate, but I treat them the same as my own birds, where sometimes I put them together. So today they were together because I moved all the birds around, but mostly I would like to see them separate. And I even have them in a divided aviary where one is on each side. So they're kind of together, but they're not in each other's space, so to speak. So that's kind of what I've found works for them. I would love to know in the comments whether or not you house your birds together or separately and what works for you. This is something that I talk about a lot with feeding. You know, people ask me, oh, you serve your pellets at night. Is it okay for me to serve pellets in the morning and veggies at night? And the reason that I don't do veggies at night is because I don't want the smell or for them to go bad overnight. What works for me is fresh food in the morning, pellets at night, but I do have clients who do it the reverse way and it works for them. So there is no one size fits all. These are kind of just ideas and starting points for you to find your own way and find what works for you. So, because I've heard a ton of different situations and some just blossom and others are like, I can't do it that way. So that of course makes sense. So I'm really happy to report that Touche overall is way more mellow, which is what I like to see. When I caught on to the talking thing, because the talking is so freaking cute, it makes you want to like get more of it. When I realized that like I got to bring that down and not keep initiating that state of emotion with him because it was so high and it was leading to chaos, it really changed everything, and it changed the level that we were at. I'm a fairly calm person. There's definitely things that I get excited about, but I didn't realize until watching like masterclass videos and certain in-home consultations that when I actually interact with the birds, I take it down a lot of notches, and I talk quieter, I speak quieter, I move slower. I think I just bring everything down to really absorb what they end up giving. And I think this is especially important for Indian ringneck owners, at least where Touche is concerned and where he's at right now. He needs a lot more calm because heightened is just equaling chaos right now. So that's kind of where I'm at with Touche. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about feet holding and a bunch of other things and topics coming up in other videos. So definitely comment, let me know what you think. Obviously you saw him, he's super chill. I'm gonna show you him real quick because he's still chilling. Of course, now that I said that, he alarms. But yeah, he's just a lot more mellow of a bird overall, which is really nice to see. So next video, other than just an update, I will make sure that you get to see him in action doing some fun stuff. Thanks for tuning in.